I was listening to a podcast not too long ago. Y'all are probably familiar with this guy, and if you haven't heard of him, then I suggest you check him out. His name is Eric Thomas. Okay, and Eric Thomas does this podcast with his crew, usually 3 or 4 of them on. He was talking about life, talking about success, talking about business, talking about relationships. And one of the things they were stressing in that time was what was the difference between the people who were successful in business and in life, people successful in relationships, people that were having success in their health. What was the difference between the winners and the losers? Right? The winners and the losers. What's the difference between the people who had dreams, had goals, had missions, yet could never cross that line and reach them, and the folks who were sitting, they were living, they were breathing their dreams, their goals, their lifestyles? Like, again, what was it between somebody like Eric Thomas, who's a very successful motivational speaker, and somebody who's just starting out? Like, if you're a coach, a speaker, a trainer, and you're just starting out, or you've been at it for years, and perhaps you've been putting all your energy, you just can't figure out what the problem was. You know, what he said was something I've been hammering at for years now, and that the difference between winners and losers were the systems that they had in place, right? Were the systems that they had in place. And so what that really, again, for me, it was good to hear, right? Because again, I've been in that belief for some time, but I heard it from him, right? And so it inspired me, actually, because for years now, you know, Dr. Thomas, Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, whatever name you want to use for him, for years now he's been putting out just amazing content. Some of it for free, some of it no strings attached, had nothing to sell, nothing to pitch. And so I actually wanted to take this time to give you some free, like, core content, no strings attached, no pitch on the end. Like, I just want you to watch it, enjoy it, take it in. Now, again, if you want a system, like, again, if you're a speaker, coach, or trainer, right? First off, this is for you. Like, this is the time for you to kind of tune in. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to start a business, these core principles I want to teach to you are going to matter. Like, they are important. Like, they're things that you need. Okay, so, and if you're not, right, like, again, you just want to work on relationships, you want to work on your health, understand that systems are the core fundamentals, and you should go find a system for you that helps you operate in that space. Now, again, if you're a coach, speaker, trainer, author, online entrepreneur, any business owner of any sort, these core principles I'm going to teach matter to you. So make sure that you tune in. Now, I'm going to do these across 5 videos, right? And again, y'all are going to be like, well, 5? Why different 5 videos? Now, you're going to want to stick out, because I know some of you are like, well, this seems pretty elementary. If I want to grow a business, I'll just grow a business. Now, we got 2 kids at home, right? So we got an older and a younger, right? So our oldest, right now is in middle school, but, you know, it's still, the work is similar. I even remember back in elementary school helping him with long division. I don't know any of you remember a long division, but it's a lot of work. Like, you hop into it. So I remember being there, and we're working on the problem, we're working through it, and he's not getting the right answer that he's looking for, right? He's trying to get to an answer, and I'm looking over the work. I'm saying, hey, you know, you're missing some steps here, and that's why you're not figuring it out, right? You're missing some steps, and he's looking, and he's not getting it. It's like, well, he's trying to just get to the answer. He's trying to just get to the end. He just wants to get to the final product, but you're not getting the right answer, right? It's because he's missing some steps. And so for you, right, and long division's elementary, right? And so for you, being successful in business may seem elementary, may seem simple, yet you're not getting the result, right, that you want. It's because you're missing some steps, right? In order to do long division, you must do each step in order. And it's also easier, just like in that scenario when we're working it through, when we finally hammered on to the step he was missing, it made it easier for him to find the answer because he actually took every step. Now, some of you are not taking every step. So again, this may seem simple, but I want you to make sure you're being a part of each part of these 5 videos. Make sure you're watching all 5 of them, because again, you get to the end, you're going to go just skip and wait for the 5th one. You're going to go out, you're going to try to start something, and it's not going to work. You're going to wonder why. It's because it may seem elementary, yet each step is important, right? It may seem simple, yet each step is important. So make sure you're tuning in to all these videos to make sure you are actually going through each step. No matter how simple it may be, every step counts. every step matters. Every step is important. So just keep those things in mind. Okay, so it's a 5-part series, which means there are 5 steps that you need to go through. There's 5 cogs and what I like to call the automation engine. Now, what is that, right? So it's just a 5-element system. Right? I'm going to explain each part, right, in each separate video. And they all are interconnected. At the end of the day, once you have all 5 steps in place, it creates an engine, something that is meant to operate in its own ecosystem and in some way feed itself, right? And in some way work itself, in some way grow itself, right? Not saying that just push a button and everything runs. This is not that. I'm also not promising, hey, you're going to go out and make 7 figures. Like, this is not that, right? What I am stressing is that you must have these elements in place if you want any chance of your business reaching its fullest potential. Okay, so keep that in mind. The first step, the first thing you must focus on. So again, get ready to write some stuff down. The first step, and some people may say this is the most important step, is prospecting. Now, what is prospecting, right? And what is the big point of prospecting? Okay. Now, prospecting, as most may know, and if you don't know, it's the concept, it's the practice, it's the process in which you attract leads and generate prospects. You attract leads and you generate prospects. Now, what is a lead, right? A lead is someone who's just interested in your product, your service, your mission, and your brand. So they may just see a sign, they may just driving down the road and see a flyer, like they may see a billboard, they may just see an ad online, and that's it. Like they may check it out for a second and just keep on going with their day. That's a lead. Now the whole point is to take those people whose eyes have fixed on your content and now make them take an action. Now once they take an action, then they become a prospect. And that generally means they end up on this thing we call a list, right? So again, if you're not new to marketing, then this is all like seems elementary. Yet I guarantee you may be not doing some of this stuff right. Right? So again, if your list is not like over, like again, you don't have like thousands of people on your list, that means you still got some prospecting work. If you aren't reaching your sales goals and you still have some prospecting work, right? If you feel like you don't have enough people to speak to, you have some prospecting work to do, right? Just keep that in mind. Now, the one principle, and I know for a fact, especially in the coaching, speaking, and training area and space, that people still aren't practicing this, right? And here's a story I always love to tell because it's fun to tell. and it's just, so my wife and I used to go to a lot of, you want to call them festivals or art. I'll just call it a festival, right? So art festival would be a great example. When you go like an art festival, craft show, and you go there and they got plenty of stalls and they got plenty of booths and they got plenty of places where you can shop people's goods, right? And so a lot of times you go and there's painters and people have these nice fancy arts. Now, I am a geek at heart. So one thing I'm obsessed with, right? Is dragons, right? Obsessed with dragons. Love them. So if you ever want to send me a dragon, like just in the gift, like a picture, whatever it is, if it's dragon form, I would typically appreciate it. Okay, so I'm a complete geek for that kind of stuff. Now, we usually go, and there's usually at least one stall, one person, one vendor who has dragon stuff that I just drool all over. Now, not literally, because I feel like that would be gross, but you get what I'm saying. My eyes, my heart, I'm in love in that point in time, right? Like I'm excited, okay? But I don't buy at that point, right? So usually what happens is I go up, ask the vendor something. It's like, hey, this looks cool. Can we order stuff online? And then they hand me a business card. And then I go away. And then the business card usually ends up in my back pocket, which then ends up somewhere lost on my desk, which eventually ends up in the file of the recycling bin, right? Like it doesn't go anywhere. Okay? Just nothing happens from it. That means they never get a sale. Now, that's what usually happens in this space of networking, of you reaching out to other people, you talking to other people. It never goes anywhere. Now, let me tell you, let's put a twist on it, because there's this concept that if you are not prospecting correctly, the whole point of prospecting, and here's the principle, it's called I am, right? It's People pay you first with their information, second with action, and third with money. People pay you first with their information, second with action, third with money. If you do it out of that order, you severely cut your revenue. Now, why is that important? Because at that point in time, I'm at the festival, or my wife's there at the festival, and we're there, and they never collect my information. Therefore, I never took action, never got my money. But if they actually took time to get my information, so they had me maybe sign in, give me their number, maybe they even take my birthday, right? Imagine what would happen. They could actually reach out to me, or reach out to my wife, or reach out to a loved one, right? If they got their information, said, hey, just so you know, I know it's such and such birthday, or I know it's near Christmas, I know it's near Father's Day, right? Here are great gifts for your husband, for your son, for whatever, right? Imagine, they know I'm a Dragon Geek. Don't you think they'll probably get that sale if that person is buying something from me? So by not getting my information, they are leaving a severe amount of money on the table, because I would certainly buy something myself if I had the cash, right? Or if you just reminded me that I wanted to buy the thing. So they're leaving a lot of money on the table. And so you're going out to these events, you're marketing, you're doing stuff on social media, you're not getting information, and you're leaving money on the table, right? You're not getting people's info, so that way you can actually reach out to them. The practice of prospecting is so you're again attracting leads, generating prospects, and you're putting their information onto a list, into a database. So that way you can actually contact them later, right? A database is not a Weber. A database isn't just a Google spreadsheet. It's not just an Excel file. It's not just a Word doc, and it certainly isn't just a Post-it note that you put somewhere because you wanted to save somebody's phone number, right? You need to have it in a system. You need to have it in an Aweber, a Get Response. You need to have it in a customer response management system, right? So that's actually gonna be step 2 of this, and I'm gonna talk about is that part. So you're gonna be like, Justin, what are those things? I'm gonna talk about those things next. What I want you to focus on, though, is I love giving it. I want to give you something to actually do, right? I want you to look at your business right now. Where are you leaving money on the table in terms of not collecting information? It could be a call that you're doing every week. It could be a live stream you're doing every week. It could be a meeting, an in-person meeting or event that you're doing all the time, right? It could be an event. Maybe you have a vendor table where you're just passing out cards instead of taking information. Whatever those things are, like, how are you selling yourself short in that space? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions for me, again, I know it's free content, but if you got any questions, please put it below. I'm here to answer them and assist you in any way, shape, or form. That's all I got. Make sure you're there for part 2. In part 2, make sure you're there at every spot of this to make sure you're getting something out of it. I guarantee you, if you take these steps, you can. Again, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to be rich overnight. What I am guaranteeing is that if you want to unlock the potential, if you want to make sure that what you're doing in your business is worth it, the time and energy you're putting into it is used to its fullest, right? You need to put these 5 pieces in place. So that's what I got. Again, I'm Justin Morgan, founder of AutomationMastery.net, to help you automate your business, master your destiny, and maximize your impact. I'll see you in the next one. And as usual, treat each day as a building block to a better future. Peace.